Hi everyone, I'm Sam.
I'm Olivia.
And I'm Sophia.
And for our group project, we decided to make a children's book. So, first, we're going to read you our story because we really want you to understand what it's all about. And we really invite you to take on the perspective of a young child. Maybe you're 5 or 6 and you're first learning about the pandemic. And so, we really want you to get into this mindset so you can see how this book would be fun and inviting. So, now we're going to go ahead and read our story. Olive, the new normal with COVID-19. Hi, I'm Olive. I'm 7 years old and I love being outside. This year has been kind of crazy. My mommy says that a lot of people are getting sick from a scary virus. This is my mom. She's a nurse, so she sees the patients at firsthand. She tells me how important it is to practice healthy habits in order to keep everyone safe. The last couple of months of quarantine have been really hard because I haven't been able to see my best friends, Anthony and Marie. One of my favorite things to do was to play mermaids in their backyard pool.
Follow along with me to see how we can stay safe and have fun too. 3 ways that I stay safe from getting sick is by wearing a mask, washing my hands, and staying 6 feet away from others. I know it can seem hard to do, but I've learned that it can be super fun and easy. Mom and I have been getting creative together with things we can do inside of our house because we don't have a backyard. One of our favorite things to do is build forts in the living room and pretend like we're camping in the woods. We always make such a big mess. Another thing we do in the house is art projects. We draw pictures of rainbows, make colorful bracelets, and sometimes Mommy even lets me finger paint. But my favorite thing to do is go on walks with Mom and my dog, Poppy. We wear masks and stay distant from our neighbors to stay safe. When we go on walks, everyone is wearing their masks too, so I feel safe. Which activity will you try first during the quarantine?
I have been having so much fun and I can't wait to show all of these activities to Anthony and Marie when it's safe. They're going to love finger painting. And remember, if we all wash our hands, wear a mask, and stay 6 feet apart from others, we can get rid of this mean virus together. I hope you learned new ways to stay safe and have fun during this time. The end. So at the end of the book, we would have included a Hey Parents slide just to keep parents up to date on the different regulations that are changing. So that those resources would be like the CDC or the World Health Organization, just so, like I said, they can keep updated on how they can have fun with their kids.
So now we're going to move on to our analysis of the book, why we chose a children's book. Olivia is going to start us off with that.
Yes, so we created a children's book because we thought it was kind of different and not something that maybe other people would be doing. We all worked with children this summer, or we have siblings, and we realized the importance of getting this message across to the younger generation. For us and adults older than us, I mean, we're able to utilize the CDC and things like that, but that's just not something that children can utilize to learn about this virus because they just wouldn't understand it. So making this sheet communication form for the younger audience was really important to us. And we wanted to keep it engaging and colorful and fun so that they would feel entertained while reading the book.
So now I want to talk about why we chose Olive as our character. We really wanted to create a complex storyline, something just a little bit different. So we incorporated kind of a different socioeconomic status and living conditions, etc., in order to give a more realistic view of quarantine in America. So Olive actually only has one parent. She also lives in a more lower class, middle class home, whereas her friends Anthony and Marie are in more of an upper class sort of family. They have a pool in their backyard, but we wanted children to be able to relate no matter what their situation at home is.
So I'm going to go through some of the key class concepts that we used in our book. First, we used mixed emotional appeals. Specifically, we used fear appeals, explaining the scariness of the virus in simpler terms by using terms like scary virus. Next, we use compassion, where we emphasize the need for children to care for others. Next, we used a narrative. The whole entire book as a whole is kind of a storyline of Olive and her experience during the pandemic. And lastly, we use social norms, specifically descriptive norms, where we illustrated what is morally right for children to kind of adopt.
So to show you where we used our mixed emotion appeals, first I want to show you where we used fear. We did a picture, as you read in the story, of a scary germ, and it elicits this emotional response from children, but nothing that's like too scary, but something that kind of just elicits this small like emotional response to the picture. And we used a fear appeal once. We know that this is the most effective way to use it, and children can understand the threat and severity through this fear appeal. And then secondly, here's our compassion appeal. And we say, keeping everyone safe on this slide with her mother. And she tells Olive like how important it is to practice these healthy habits to keep others safe. And we know compassion is a really important lesson for young kids to understand, because they should learn how to care for others other than themselves. And their actions can really have a strong impact on others.
Next, we use social norms, specifically descriptive norms. So we incorporated neighbors wearing a mask, and so children can observe this behavior, of this common behavior of others, and kind of adopt it. And this observation of the behavior not only helps kids determine what behaviors are allowed, but also provides information that adopting this behavior will help to keep people safe. Next, we used the term everyone is wearing the mask, specifically the term everyone, where it helps to illustrate what people have chosen to do in this situation, and it helps kids determine and adopt what is the acceptable behavior. And this is a powerful concept because children are especially susceptible to pick up common behaviors of others and will be more likely to practice and follow this.
Lastly, like we said, we use a narrative storyline. So this was used throughout the book because the storyline is told through the eyes of Olive. This was super important because it allowed the audience, specifically the children, to relate to that main character. Having her be a young child, I mean, boy or girl, she's just a young child, so anybody can really relate to her, her story. And when they can relate to her, they're more willing to follow that message that she's putting across of being safe and protecting others, which is a super important strategy. So the reason that this is a successful SHE communication strategy is because we combined these three concepts of social norms, mixed emotion appeals, and narrative communication to really provide a persuasive storyline, because kids are very impressionable and willing to follow persuasive messages. So by using these three strategies, we were able to really create a persuasive story so that they can do their best in being safe and protecting others. We also think it's really important to educate these children from a young age so that they can bring that into their future as well, but just so that they can learn about this virus, starting now. It's so important to keep others safe. Like we had said, it's super visually appealing and engaging for that young audience, so they're able to stay entertained while reading, and they can relate to the storyline through the narrative, which was really important as well. So thank you.
Thank you so much for listening. We really hope you enjoyed our storyline.
Thank you. Hope you enjoyed our book.